Hey, what's up? My name is Michael, and with me I have Pierce. And welcome to Peter's Oblivious Opinions, a podcast about anything entertainment depending on how we're feeling and what we like. This could include movies, music, people, books, and saws. So without further ado, we'll just jump right into it. And because we feel like it, we're going to start with some movies. More
Alright.
specifically, some battle brackets. Pierce, take it
Yeah,
away.
for sure. So battle bracket. Essentially, what we're going to do is we have finally selected some of our favorite movies that we've seen uh, over the years, basically, and we have made a bracket out of them, and we're going to go through the bracket and try and figure out which of these movies is the best one. So the movies that we've picked. I'm not sure if we want to spoil them right now. What do you think?
Um, sure, we can list them off.
All right.
Why not?
Okay. So the first movie that we picked, the one that we're going to be talking about today, is Con Air. Okay. After that, it's going to be facing off actually against Doom. Okay, that's going to be one bracket. The next bracket is going to be Anaconda, the classic Anaconda, versing off against Commando. Next is going to be the Green Inferno, facing off against Dead Silence. And then lastly, we have two big classics in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, versing off against From Dusk Till Dawn. So that's essentially what we're going to be going through here. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Con Air, and we have a rating system that we're going to follow for each movies. So I don't know, Mike, if you want to kind of explain that rating system.
Sure. The first one is general experience. This one is measured by how I guess we felt watching it. I remember when we discussed this, I remember coming up with this, but I don't remember what this even means. But I'm going to assume it's how we generally felt about the movie and if we actually enjoyed it.
Yeah,
General enjoyment.
yeah. I'm in the same
Because,
boat as you there.
yeah.
I think it's
Because,
just
like,
gonna be how
yeah.
you enjoyed it.
Yeah, pretty much. Because somehow if everything is terrible, like if the entire movie's terrible, it can still be enjoyable. So that's where general experience is going to come in. And then the next one is very close second in importance. Costume design. It's very important because, if a movie's got shitty costumes, then what's the point? Do I even want to watch the rest of it? Third one is the plot, for obvious reasons. The fourth one is cinematography. I don't 100% know what cinematography means,
Neither
but
do
it
I.
sounds important. The soundtrack, obviously,
That
because
is
we
the
can't
most important
forget
category.
about that. Could be. If you can't watch the movie with a black screen over top of the actual movie, then it's a terrible movie. All right. The next one is actors, which I think we were going to do some sort of tier list for actors or characters. Is that what we were going to do?
I'd be down to do that.
Can't remember if that's what we're going to do, but it is now.
Well,
And the last one is Donnie, for obvious reasons. And basically, what we're going to do is rate each category from 1 to 5 and then see how they compare up against each other. Pick out the average of all the categories and kind of give it one general rating based on all the categories. And then they'll face off, and the highest score will move on to the next part.
seems pretty fair to me. Now,
Sounds good.
keep in mind, this is called Peter's Oblivious Opinions. You know, even though we have strong opinions, sometimes they're a little oblivious. We may like cinematography. I don't have too much experience with cinematography here, so the rating system may be a little, geared towards our personal preferences.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
But we did make sure to choose a diverse list of movies,
Yep.
so we get some of everything.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. There's such a big difference between, Con Air and, let's say, Dead Silence.
Yeah, Dead Silence is a masterpiece, and Con Air is like, I don't know if anyone's even heard of Con Air. So,
Yeah.
and definitely no famous actors in Con Air.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think like a lot of that, older generation. Sorry for all you older listeners out there. You've probably heard of Con Air more than the younger generation.
Yeah, it's possible. 1997, only 90s kids remember this.
True.
All right, so I
right.
guess should we start with Con Air?
Sure. Yeah. I say we leave general experience to near the end. So why don't we take a look at the actors? Because this is what you do before you go into a movie. You'd look at the actors and be like, oh, this looks like it'd be good. These actors.
Sure. Wait, are we gonna tier list the actors or the characters?
I say we leave the characters for the plot, and we'll tier rate the actors in it.
Okay, sounds good.
What do you think?
That sounds like a fair strategy.
Or we could tier rate the actors playing those characters.
We could, yeah, because sometimes actors are just terrible in a movie.
True.
It's like Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 4. Terrible. He forgot how to act.
Yeah. I don't think his heart was really in that one.
I don't think so. All right, but we're not rating that one.
No. All right.
We'll rate Con Air.
First off, we got our titular character here, Mr. Cameron Poe. Very unfortunate incident, coming home from war, ends up in prison, doesn't get to see his child get born. It's a very heart-stringing role, and he's kind of like that, anti-hero. He was in prison, but he's kind of the morally good guy within the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve to be in prison.
No, exactly. And who better to play that character than, Vampire's Kiss Scream guy himself, Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, if you want to be instantly drawn into a movie, Nicolas Cage. That's what you have to do. Open the movie with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. That, opening fight scene with Nicolas Cage, his accent in the movie is great.
Oh yeah, the southern accent really ties the character really well.
It really does. The look of confusion on his face for like 90% of the movie. It's great as well.
Oh yeah.
His muscles.
Oh my god, yeah, his tank top? Yeah. Okay, we'll get to costume later. But yeah, we'll have to remember to bring that up.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think. I think this is a Nicolas Cage standout performance. He's had some questionable movies, but I think this is one of the ones you got to watch.
Yeah, this is one of his classics. Before his questionable movie phase really took flight.
For sure.
Yeah, that was a pun. Accidentally on air. Didn't even mean to. But yeah, no, this is one of his better movies that I've seen, anyways.
Yeah.
So, how does the tier list work?
So
it goes like
S is the top.
Okay.
And then it's
Google
A, B, C, D, F.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I guess it's kind of hard to pinpoint it because you need to kind of compare them. But
right.
I'm going to give him a B.
A B in this movie? Okay.
I think, well, maybe we'll see. Might come back to it after going through the other characters. But there's some really good actors in this movie.
There is. I think I'm going to give him a B as well. Not just because you gave him a B, but because I feel like even though this is one of his stand-up performances, it is still Nicolas Cage, and there's some questionable acting at some points in it, but it's still enjoyable with him.
For sure. Yeah, whenever he talks about putting a bunny in a box, there's a little bit of cringe going on.
Oh, yeah. Or like at the start of the movie, I wasn't super convinced by his, I'm going home to my son, to his cellmate. That was, felt a little, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they felt a little forced. He went from completely calm, saying nothing straight face, to, I'm going home to my daughter!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah, it's his daughter. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote son. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess okay. So he gets a B. Who's next? You have a list in front of
I
you.
do have a list here. So next I have John Cusack playing Vince Larkin, which is kind of the head kind of detective guy during the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, yeah, he's in charge of that whole flight, and he's the one that's kind of trying to make sure it goes well.
Yeah. Yeah. He honestly, I thought he did a good job in this movie.
Me too.
His character was totally believable. Totally his rage at the other guy with the ass kicker car was totally genuine.
I
And
really like that.
one thing that set him apart from Nicolas Cage is he didn't have an unnecessary accent.
Yeah, it's very
As
true.
much as I love the Alabama accent, I don't know if it added anything.
I don't think so either. I think if anything, it was a little bit of a questionable accent in my opinion. It was good,
Yeah.
but it's just it didn't, like you said, it didn't really add anything to the movie.
Yeah. I have a theory. At the start of the movie, he gets off the boat and goes home to Alabama, and
Yeah.
the only way you know it's Alabama is because there's the title thing at the bottom that says Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory that he just started using the Southern accent, and they have no idea why. So then they inserted that at the start of the movie to make it kind of make sense, because there's absolutely no reason why he's a Southern.
That's really true. That's absolutely a Nicolas Cage move too, just to randomly using an accent.
I bet they had to film half the movie because the first half didn't have the accent.
That'd be so funny. And this is why I love Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he brings his own pizzazz to every role.
Yeah. I've actually heard that Nicolas Cage, I know we're off of Nicolas Cage now, but he'll like show up to random university classes and just out of the blue, unannounced, just show up and start teaching.
What the?
Yeah.
What does the teacher do in that situation?
I don't know. Well, I assume they're probably acting classes and stuff, or like film classes. So the teacher's probably like, "Oh, I guess Nicolas Cage is here. Cool."
Wow, that would be something to watch.
Yeah, it'd be pretty funny.
Oh man. Okay, let's get back to John Cusack.
Yeah, I remember hearing somewhere. I can't quite find it right now online, but I remember hearing one time John Cusack hates his role. Like he hates this movie, like being in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I remember hearing that. I'm gonna see if I can find it quickly here.
That's surprising because I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job too.
Probably one of the better actors in this movie. For sure.
Yeah, here it is. John Cusack on IMDb here. John Cusack allegedly dislikes this film so much that he refuses to be interviewed about it.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Like, I feel like he did a pretty good job. I don't understand.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know what to go in about his character. I don't really have any complaints.
Yeah,
I did notice that his suit didn't seem to fit too well, but other than that, I'm going to give him an A.
That's why he, well, I'm going to give him an A too, but that's probably why he hates the movie. He doesn't look great in that suit.
It could be, because everything else just did a great job.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we were just talking about Nicolas Cage's Alabama accent, and I can't help but notice on this IMDb page here, it also says Nicolas Cage traveled to Alabama to perfect his accent.
What?
Yeah.
Why? No, no one told him to do that, and no one told him he had an accent.
And I bet he expensed it to the movie as well, to the production.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Okay.
Well, he's committed. He's committed.
He is
to every role.
You can't fault him for that.
No, you really can't.
No.
All right. So who's next?
Next is John Malkovich, who is as Cyrus the Virus Grissom, who's kind of like the main antagonist of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think he does a really good job. He's really creepy in the whole thing.
Yeah, he's definitely good at being weird, I guess.
For sure. And like, yeah, I don't know. Just first when I saw him, even right at the start of the movie, I was a little terrified. Like, plus like the dedication to put a needle into your skin for the prison for the escape in the start of the movie. That's, I mean, I don't know if if John Malkovich actually did that, but seeing the character do that is just like, whoa, like this guy's serious.
Yeah, that was kind of grossed me out a bit.
Yeah.
Because that would probably hurt.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know, I guess his character, he seemed kind of one-dimensional to me.
Yeah, he's definitely just like a kind of a creepy guy. That's about it.
Yeah, that seemed to me like what it is.
Just a killer.
Just like a little bit creepy, and was pretty much the same for the entire movie.
Yeah, honestly, I agree.
I mean, I don't think that's his fault, because that might just be how his character was written. But
Yeah.
But he still did a decent job at the role he had.
Yeah, I think John Malkovich did a really good job. I think maybe the writing let him down a little bit there.
Yeah, could be.
And like, I don't know, it's pretty creepy. But yeah, you're right. It's almost too one dimensional to, in my opinion, to give him more than a B for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want to give him anything above a B either. Like, he wasn't bad, but I wouldn't say he was as good as John Cusack.
No, absolutely not. Honestly, I think I'm putting him on the same level as Nicolas Cage there for myself personally. I think they're pretty comparable.
I'm with
they
you
play
there.
off each other well because they're at the same level.
Yeah. The Alabama accent.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, though, like this might help explain why he seems so one-dimensional. Apparently, throughout the movie, the script was actually being virtually rewritten every day, and so John Malkovich had no idea how his character was going to turn out. So he was pretty unhappy with that during production.
Oh my god! What the hell? Oh.
So maybe that's why he's a little one-dimensional.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, that would be pretty hard to work with if it's getting rewritten every single day.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's because he was working with Nicolas Cage. I bet they have to rewrite it every day with Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is just making demands.
Yeah, he probably memorizes 20% of the script and then goes in and fills the rest as he goes.
Yeah. Man, Nicolas Cage is wild.
Yeah. Honestly, though, his movies are always entertaining.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how many characters you want to do here, but maybe we'll just go through some of the main ones. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go, because you don't have tons of time.
Yeah. Okay. So I definitely think another one we want to bring up here is Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, playing Garland the Marietta Mangler Green. Just the creepiest character.
Yeah, I love when they reveal him and then they're pulling him off the back of the truck. And they have like the freaking most secure thing I've ever seen. They like wrap his face in like leather.
Yeah. Oh, he's so creepy, he's almost comical, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, he's like creepy, but he just sits there and he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, like he's not threatening.
No.
He just says weird things.
Yeah. And then there's like definitely that scene where he's like with that little girl, right?
Oh yeah, and he's just like totally entranced.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't kill her.
No, which is I don't know. His whole character just confuses me, and I think Steve Buscemi does a really good job of playing a very confusing character.
Yeah, because he's like easily one of the most evil people there, but he seems like one of the most friendly ones.
Right.
So maybe that's why. But I love at the end of the movie when the only uh, convict who got away was him.
Yeah.
And he's just gambling in one of the casinos.
Yeah. And
Oh, man.
I think like
So
him being be able to relate to that girl too also gives us a little bit of a glimpse into what he feels on the inside and how he relates to that younger girl. It's probably has to do a lot with why he is the way he is.
yeah, and it's he does a good job because he really doesn't have a lot of screen time in the
No,
movie.
and he's like probably the most memorable character for me.
Yeah,
Especially like the creepy way he's singing, he's got the whole world in his hands, right? When the plane's going
yeah.
down. This like just the way he does that gives me chills every time. He does not care that plane's crashing, anything. It's
Plane's going down. He doesn't care.
got the whole world in his hands. It's so creepy.
He's just so relaxed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he doesn't seem like he could ever murder someone.
No, exactly. I just
So yeah, he does a great job with that.
a great job, and like trying to figure out the psyche of the other people. I just think I don't know. I'm giving Steve Buscemi like the top rating for this one, an S. Like I think
Is that above A?
yeah,
Is that S?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, he was my tier S too.
yeah. I honestly think this movie is way worse without him, even though he has such little screen time.
Oh, totally. He is like some of the most character development in the movie, and has like the least amount of time on the screen.
Yeah,
Somehow,
I agree.
this does a great job.
He's
All right,
he's pretty great.
tier S. Okay, wait. We need a tier F.
Tier F.
Actor. Who's a tier F actor?
I don't know who's a tier F actor, but I know there's a couple of people I still think we should go through here.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Like Danny
Maybe
Trejo for sure.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
This might have been one of his breakout roles.
Absolutely, Danny Trejo.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job though.
He does. In
the movie.
He scares me.
Yeah, he's definitely a Karibo.
Yeah. Yeah, more than
Definitely played his character well. Johnny 23.
Oh yeah, just a real disgusting character.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
But I don't know.
like Danny Trejo himself, he's a good actor, but he's not like a premier actor. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's not like a famous Hollywood like A-list actor.
Yeah.
But he's the kind of actor that if he was in a movie, I would probably go see it.
Fair.
And I probably wouldn't expect it to win an Oscar.
No, absolutely not.
I would expect it to be entertaining.
Absolutely not.
And I think he did a good job in this movie.
I think he does a good job too. I don't think he does a good a job as Nick Cage or John Malkovich personally, so I might have a bit of a lower rating than you for this one.
Okay. Okay, so what's your rating?
I'm gonna give him a C. Because even though he's creepy, I feel like again, that's pretty much all he is. He doesn't really. I don't know if he really defines the movie. I think the movie could go without him.
Yeah, his character definitely is not the anchor of the movie.
Yeah.
But I thought he served his purpose. Like, I thought Danny Trejo did a good job with the character he was given.
Okay.
So I'm going to give him an A. Or no, not an A.
You can give him an A. Absolutely. We can have varying opinions on this.
No, I was thinking A or B.
Okay.
Screw it. I'm going to give him an A because I can't say he's worse than Nicolas Cage's Alabama accent.
Okay.
But I'm biased there because I just love Danny Trejo.
Honestly, Danny Trejo's pretty great.
Yeah,
Uh,
entertaining. All right, who's next?
Dave Chappelle as Joe Pinball Parker.
Oh my!
Now he improvised most of his lines in this movie, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job.
Oh yeah.
His character was kind of weird,
His
but
character's definitely weird, but
I mean,
I do think Dave Chappelle did a good job because he was also kind of the comic relief, and I think he did a really good job of that.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And his character kind of disappeared pretty early on,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well he's gone in Carson City, right?
yeah, because he gets trapped in the
In the wheel
what's it
well.
called? Yeah, the the wheel thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might give him like, I don't want to give everyone an A though, but he did a good job, and his character seemed, I don't know, more interesting to me than Cyrus's character.
Yeah, I think his character's more interesting, but I don't know. I think acting-wise, he didn't do as good of a job as John Malkovich.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting the acting confused with the character.
Well,
But yeah, no,
you know,
that's true. I mean,
a character's defined by the acting normally, right? So.
yeah.
Ah.
Okay, I'll give him a C.
Okay. I was leaning towards a C as well for him. So.
All right. Sorry, Dave Chappelle.
You're great.
All right, you want to do one more?
Sure, we'll do one more. Now, I'm going to let you choose what the one more we do is. I'm going to give you 3 options and you choose, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we've got Ving Rhames as Nathan Diamond Dog Jones. We have MC Gainey as Earl Swamp Thing Williams. And then the other one we have is McKelty Williamson as Mike Babyo Odell.
Mike Babyo Odell. Who is that?
I'm pretty sure that's the guy that had the insulin problem.
Oh. You know, let's go. Let's do Diamond Dog because
Okay.
he was actually a bigger part of the movie than
Yeah.
a lot of these guys.
Okay, sounds good. So this is Ving Rhames. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So he's
he
like
was-
he's basically like a henchman to Cyrus, right?
Yeah. He's kind of always mad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And kept wanting to kill the hostages.
Yeah. I feel like that's, as a character, that's as far as it goes, and I think that fits the way the character, like the way Ving portrayed the character pretty well.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job for what the character was.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like an angry, big, tough guy. That's what he did.
Yeah, and kind of similar to me is like, what's his name? John Malkovich, because like both of them just had their role, and they seemed kind of one-dimensional,
Right.
but they played that one dimension pretty well.
Yeah. And to be
So-
honest, yeah, I personally think I'll put him on the same level as Nick Cage and John Malkovich for that reason.
Yeah, I'll put him on that too. Yeah,
Okay.
for B. Okay.
All right. So we have, just to recap, we have at the S level, Steve Buscemi, top dog. At the A level, we have John Cusack. At the B level, we have Nick Cage, John Malkovich, and Ving Rhames. And at the C level, we have Danny Trejo and Dave Chappelle. And nobody else under that.
Hey, I heard you move Danny Trejo down to C.
Oh yeah, right.
Actually-
That's my rating.
We'll average him out as a B
Okay.
because I Humane.
Okay, sounds good.
Damn it. I want him
I
to be
forgot we had
S.
different ratings for Daddy Trejo.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. No, okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I mean, I feel like many people would disagree with us on some of those,
Yeah. I mean,
but I think Steve Buscemi, John Cusack, and Nicolas Cage are
fairly
in good
sneaky.
positions.
Yeah. I do have to point out before we give a final out of 5 rating for the actors, there is not a whole lot of female roles in this movie.
There's that guard
Yeah.
and his wife.
Yeah. And I don't know, props like the guard riding the garden is pretty good, but I feel like she could have had probably even a bigger role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she probably could.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was an all
Male prison.
like it would make sense for all the male prisoners to be together.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's not like it was it didn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
But she definitely could have had a bigger role because
I think so too. Okay. Now, here's what I propose. I propose right now we write down our rating out of 5, but we don't present it till the end.
okay, sounds good.
Okay.
I will do that.
So based on this list here, I'm going to put a rating out of 5. All right. Steve Buscemi, let me just carry the 2 here.
You're doing all this fancy math.
Yeah,
I'm just like counting my fingers.
Do you know what the log of integral 37x is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 108.
108. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we divide that by John Cusack.
Divide that by John Cusack. All right. Okay, I'm going to start moving on to the next thing here.
Okay, sounds good. I am going to finish my rating here. Okay, there we go.
Okay, let's talk about the plot.
All right, sounds
Just
good.
because if someone didn't actually know what this movie was about, then
That's true.
they probably were wondering what was going on for the last 20 minutes.
That's very true. That's a good point. We should probably start with the plot from now on.
Okay, I'll summarize the plot quickly. So,
Sounds good.
Nicolas Cage is a ranger from the army, and the movie opens just as he's getting back from serving overseas, doing whatever. Basically, they set it up that he was a badass, and now he's coming back home. And the first thing he does when he gets back is he goes to a bar with his wife, who then gets hit on by some drunk guys. And then Nicolas Cage is like, screw off. Doesn't actually say that, but that's pretty much the vibe that he was giving them. Then they back off, and then he leaves, going to his car, and then these 3 guys jump him. And he decides to fight them because he wants to take some rage out. And he wasn't really doing any permanent damage. He was just kind of beating the crap out of him. And then some guy pulls out a knife and got himself stabbed. It doesn't even really show. I'm assuming that Nicolas Cage stabbed him.
Yeah.
But it honestly doesn't even show.
Well, it's like a little dark and rainy at that scene, so it's a little hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. But basically, even though they jumped him and it was self-defense, he ended up going on trial, and the evidence was against him, and his lawyer told him to plead guilty so he doesn't get like 1,000 years in prison or whatever. So then he goes to jail for 8 years, and he's like keeping in contact with his wife and his daughter, who he's never met before because his wife was pregnant while he was just going on trial to go to jail. And then, so he's going out on parole because his time's up. And he decides to take a plane with all these convicts to go home. And then It gets taken over. So that's where we're at. Meanwhile, John Cusack is the guy who's in charge of getting the plane safely from point A to point B, and clearly not everything is going very well.
Yeah.
So the convicts capture the plane, and then they're basically trying to escape the country, and then Nicolas Cage kind of pretends he's on their side, but is really trying to sabotage them, and then keep in contact with John Cusack. And then eventually they figure it out, and then Nicolas Cage goes badass mode, and then they crash into Las Vegas, and then there's a massive car chase that just destroyed the realism of the movie, and then he's reunited with his wife, and he's all teary-eyed about it. Is that a fair summary, Pierce?
I think that's a fair enough summary. Yeah, we can get into some details talking.
All right.
About what we're.
But overall plot.
Yeah, that's a very good summary of the overall plot. Yeah, I think the plot's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's definitely original.
Yeah, the whole idea of having this plane full of convicts gets hijacked, like, it's original. Like, I find it a little far-fetched, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Well, one interesting thing I remember from the movie is when they take it over,
Mm-hmm.
John Cusack is like, we don't have a contingency plan for if this ever happens, so we don't know what to do. And I'm like, how can you be transporting like 50 convicts and not have a plan for if they overpower your guards?
That is really true.
It's like the only thing that could go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, like, how do you not have a plan?
I don't know what that was about, but
yeah, I literally have no idea. The other thing I found really interesting is you have the DEA at the start, right? With that real, like, asshole guy at the start, right?
Oh yeah, the DEA guy.
Yeah, and they sneak the guy onto the plane, but I feel like that plot point goes nowhere because he just gets killed off, like, immediately.
Yeah, and that guy... Sorry.
No worries.
That guy
Yeah.
was such an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's like, don't bring a gun on the plane. No one has guns. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
There's only one gun and the pilot has it. So don't bring a gun on the plane. Then the guy's like, okay. And then he hides a gun in his frickin' shoe.
Yeah.
Then he takes one of the convicts hostage to try and get the other convict to surrender. But it's like, okay, first of all, you think a convict is going to give a shit about a different convict's
plus that
life?
convict just shot like 4 other convicts too.
Yeah, and he didn't even care.
Yeah.
So, and he had no plan, and Nicolas Cage is like, dude, you have no plan.
Yeah. He's like, chill.
And then, yeah, long story short, he died.
Yeah.
Because he was an idiot. He had no end game.
I really
He
felt
just pulled his gun out and started threatening people.
Yeah. Like, I felt like, even though that, like, put some action into it at the start, I felt like that really didn't have a point in the movie.
Yeah, it totally didn't. I
No.
feel like he could have worked with Nicolas Cage and then got killed off later on. But he was just a impulsive idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
that was a little bit weird.
Yeah. One thing I do give credit to the whole plot, though, is it is exciting from start to finish. Like, there's no dull points, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. It is action the whole way.
Yeah. And that's
Or at
what you
least
want
high
from a movie
tension.
like that.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's definitely, the movie goes by fast when you're watching it. It does not drag on at all.
Yeah.
And it's like a 2-hour movie, so it could.
Yeah, exactly. And even when you, like, look at, like, Carson City, when they land in Carson City kind of halfway through the movie, they have to, like, stop to take prisoners off, take prisoners on, and that's when we first get introduced to Steve Buscemi's character there. Even that point, you'd think that point could get a little, like, boring at that point. Even that point's super, super duper exciting. There's a lot of tension between, like, what's going to happen, is Poe going to get off the plane, that sort of stuff. Like, they managed to make the one part of the movie, in my opinion, that could have been really dull, still exciting.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I think the plot's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like it's it's a good action movie.
Yeah, it's a good classic action movie.
It's
And
definitely solid.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and I definitely think that like that definitely earns it some credit, but it being quite far fetched, as well as kind of having some pointless storylines in there, I'm definitely going to dock it points for that.
Yeah, there definitely are some, and I feel like what you see is what you get. There's not really a lot of symbolism that you have to decipher.
No, no,
Maybe a Steve Buscemi's character, but
yeah, that's
that's
it.
pretty much it.
Looking into the
Though,
psyche of all the characters.
yeah, I do think there are some cringy dialogue moments, though.
Oh, for sure.
Like anytime Nicolas Cage makes noise, there's a little bit of cringe.
Probably because he's improvising 90% of his lines.
100% of his lines.
Oh man. I also think that like that whole Lost Las Vegas plane scene in the car chase, as exciting as that is, pretty wildly unrealistic.
Oh yeah, I definitely thought the movie was like it wasn't totally like it was unrealistic, but it wasn't totally unbelievable.
Yeah,
Like it's like kind of plausible until that happened.
yeah,
And I was like, what? But also another part, when they land and I think it's Lerner airstrip or something,
yeah,
and they're like trying to meet up with this South American drug lords, which
yeah.
I did not understand what that storyline was at all.
Like,
I knew they were trying to get in contact with them, but I didn't know why.
right. I think they're
So
probably just trying to. I don't quite understand either, but they're trying to catch them, right? And that's why that DEA officer was on the plane to make contact. I guess. I'm not entirely sure on that. That's that
probably,
whole DEA storyline I'm not super happy about because I think it was just a little confusing and convoluted and kind of pointless to the plot, in my opinion.
yeah, I feel like they could have had one scene to kind of explain it
Yeah,
that would have made it make a lot more sense,
and
and they
tie it into
definitely
the
would have
plot.
had the time to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that definitely would make it lose some points.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
But what else? Oh yeah, but anyways, at that Lerner airstrip,
yeah,
that one part where the army comes in
yeah,
and it's like this random frickin' scrapyard kind of looking place in the middle of the desert.
yeah,
And the army's going in, they're driving in, and there's like a narrow valley in between two long stretches of scrapyard with tons of hiding places and propane tanks in the middle of the road.
yeah,
And the army decides to just drive straight into it without even going around at all to scope it out, even though they know that the convicts are there.
Yeah, and
they
even
decide to walk right in the middle.
Yeah, and even though I'm pretty sure John Cusack is warning them not to do that as well.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, they're going to get wrecked. And then he comes out with a freaking bulldozer
Yeah,
that they hide behind like a tank. But I just thought that was so just unrealistic.
yeah, I agree.
Because there's no way the army would ever do that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know if you have anything else to bring up, but after hearing like all those points that you brought up, in my personal opinion, I think I'm ready to rate the plot.
All right. Yeah, I think me too.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. I hope you didn't hear that burp.
I didn't, but I did hear you talk about it happening. So
solid.
All right.
What are we on to next?
Let's go. Let's talk about the soundtrack.
Okay. Best part of every movie.
Yes.
The
soundtrack.
Go ahead.
Are you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
The soundtrack is like exactly what you'd expect. Actually, it sounds more like an 80s movie than a 90s movie to me.
To be honest, yeah.
Because there's some like techno sounding stuff during the action sequences that's like intense.
Yeah.
But then there's also whenever something sad happens, there's like a guitar just playing like a few notes like diddle ding,
Yeah.
ding ding ding, ding ding ding, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely. And I'm on a website called TuneFind here. It's kind of listing out there's 21 songs that are in the soundtrack, right? Okay. Most of them are just kind of score stuff, that's going on in the background. And I feel like you said, they kind of support it well, but more in like an 80s movie kind of way, which gets a little cheesy at times.
yeah, definitely a little cheesy.
Yeah. But I definitely have to like give them like huge props for having a couple of bangers in here. Okay. Two bangers I'm talking about are two like actual songs that fit into the movie. So the first one is "How Do I Live," right? How do I live without you? Right, that's right at the start of the movie. That is that sounds like an 80s song, but that is a great banger way to open up a movie. That's a song that you can just hunker down and enjoy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And you know what? When it opens like that with the cheesy scenes with him and his wife, and he's like coming back from the war, and that plays, it's like exactly what kind of movie this is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's
exactly that movie. Yeah. It does set the right tone.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one I'm going to point out here is Lynyrd Skynyrd's "Sweet Home Alabama," right?
Here's the other side of the Alabama theme.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't Nicolas Cage.
No.
Maybe I don't know.
The keys in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But like ending off a movie with the you see Steve Buscemi's character there working as the gambler, and then you get the end cast. Like you can't get a more like this was a great movie song than "Sweet Home Alabama."
Oh yeah, it's like a good closure song
for sure. So
it's good. I love the guitar that plays whenever sad stuff happens. It's like, it's weird. It's the kind of movie where I feel like I could predict what the soundtrack would be at any given moment.
Right.
If I didn't hear it.
Right. Yeah.
It's like so just like consistent with the kind of movie it is.
Yeah. And I think how cheesy the soundtrack was really fits into what this movie is and what the allure of the movie is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how much more I have to say about it here. I know that was pretty short.
Yeah, me neither. I can't really elaborate any further.
Okay.
And it's hard to pay attention to the soundtrack sometimes when you're paying attention to all this other stuff.
The way I like to rate soundtrack is, the songs, how good the songs are, and then if, the soundtrack supports what's going on in the movie well. And so, like, a lot of times when I don't notice the soundtrack, but I'm feeling, like, good in the movie, I attribute a lot of that to soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack can really make or break a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially horror movies, which we're gonna have a couple of those later.
Oh yeah, and it won't be the acting that's the horror part. It'll be the actual movie.
Yeah. Cue dead silence.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm gonna rate the soundtrack right now.
Okay, I got my rating down.
Me too. Perfect. All right, what do I say? Do you want to move to costume design or cinematography next?
Let's do cinematography next.
Okay. Now, for a movie in the 90s, this does have a Larry 80s cinematography feel to it as well. In my opinion, at least. But I think it is wonderful. Like, the cinematography as well with the soundtrack has a very cheesy feel to it and a really cool feel, especially those, like, desert scenes at, the Lerner airfield there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. All those explosions with Nicolas Cage running in slow motion and his hair in the wind. Like, come on. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Or, like, Danny Trejo when he sees the military planes coming and he's like, up on the little, like, embankment there, and that's just a beautiful scene as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This reminds me, my favorite part of the entire movie is they're flying in the plane, and I don't know if, I guess this might be kind of cinematography. I don't really know. Like I said, I don't even know what cinematography means.
Me neither.
But anyways, they were getting Dave Chappelle's body out of the frickin'
Right.
under the plane, and then he shows him just falling over the city.
Yeah.
And then this couple is driving, and they're just at a freaking stoplight, and this bird poop lands in their windshield. And he's like, God damn it, right after I finish waxing the car, bird poops on it. And then his wife's like, oh, don't worry about that. It's a sign of good luck. And then he pulls up 3 feet, and then Dave Chappelle's body lands right on their hood and smashes everything.
Yeah,
and then they get hit by like 4 different cars in all directions.
That's pretty great, yeah.
So funny. But I love how bad, like, you could definitely see, I guess this wouldn't really be cinematography, it might be like special effects.
Yeah.
But whenever someone was like near the plane and could get pulled out, or they were just flying through the air,
Yeah.
like the Dave Chappelle's body, it was just so obviously not real.
Not real. Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, I agree. I say we combine some special effects into
Yeah, it can mean anything we want.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
This is our podcast. We can do what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, that's definitely super cool. The other thing I wanted to point out for cinematography is I felt like the camera work and like the feel of each scene really fit where it was. So like in the prison, it really was that grimy feel of being in prison. Even on the plane, you have that like kind of uncomfortable, grimy feel of being on a plane, especially with a bunch of prisoners. But as soon as they get that open air, in like Carson City, even though it's dusty, it's still a little bit brighter, a little bit more fresh feeling, in my opinion. And then once they get to that Lerner airfield, it's a really like open, sunny, like we're free feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I didn't even notice that, but it really does reflect the mood of the movie really well.
Yeah,
that's certain points.
That was my biggest feeling with this movie, and why I like the cinematography so much.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. One of the only shots that I really remember.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember the movie, but like the specific shots from like that's a good shot is just always the explosions with Nicolas Cage running in slow motion.
Okay. Yeah, those are cool shots for sure. Like,
but also, what were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
There's this one part too where John Cusack's investigating Cyrus's cell, right. And then he's got like a bomb in there.
Yeah.
But then he's like, he's with some guards, and he's like, "Okay, you guys wait here. Don't touch anything." And it shows him jogging, like in slow motion, but he wasn't like running away from anything. And then it cuts back to them, and it's like not slow motion at all, but it's like he was running in slow motion, but they hadn't established anything suspenseful at all because there's no reason to suspect there'd be a bomb there.
That's very true. Yeah.
So it's like they missed the timing on the slow motion part, but
yeah,
that was kind of funny. I like their usage of slow motion though.
Yeah. Oh, it adds so much, especially, with that costume design we're going to get into soon with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah. I don't really have much more to say about
it. Yeah, no, I'm ready to rate this cinematography here.
Okay. This is where the oblivious part comes in.
Yeah. We are in no way professionals in any sort of movie making or anything to do with movies, but...
or anything at all.
Yeah, that's very true. But we're absolutely ready to give our opinions on this.
Yes. All right. So I think the obvious next one is the Donnie.
Donnie? Oh, Donnie. All right. So, hear me out. The obvious choice for Donnie right now is a 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A 0 out of 5.
Now, hear me out. I think I'm going to give this some points. Do you know why?
Is someone's name Donnie in the movie?
No, but close. So Steve Buscemi, okay, he plays, that crazy guy in the movie, not named Donnie, but he's
Yeah.
in a cool movie called The Big Lebowski, okay? And in The Big Lebowski, he plays a bowler side character with the name Donnie.
I could see it. He looks like a Donnie.
Yeah. Now,
All right.
that is a far stretch to connect to Donnie, but since there's a connection with a Donnie there, I might give it maybe a half point. Not
I'm
to
with you
spoil the
there.
end.
We'll
Okay.
give it a half point.
Okay.
But it's a stretch. It's a generous. We're like throwing a penny into a wishing fountain here.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
how generous we're being.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just charity at this point. All right. Man, this is going to hurt them. This is going to hurt them. They really needed a Donnie here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the most important category in this whole thing.
Yeah. No, honestly, it makes or breaks the movie.
Yeah. Donnie? No Donnie?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anyways, so I guess costume design's next?
Yeah, I'm ready for some costume design.
All right. Let's go.
All right. Now, picture this. Nicolas Cage running, as you said, in slow motion from an explosion. Sweat pouring down his bare arms because he's wearing a white tank top. Long, sweaty, flowy hair flowing in the wind. Now, is that not the perfect costume design for Nicolas Cage?
It is. And his tight blue jeans that show off how long his legs are.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great. I honestly, it's a good costume because I didn't even notice if he was wearing shoes the entire movie.
Honestly,
I was too busy looking at his upper body.
Same. Really showed off, that Nicolas Cage ripped look of the 90s.
Yeah. And it really gave you the badass vibe.
Yeah.
Like the blue jeans and the tank top.
No, for sure. And then the other thing you were mentioning too is with I don't know why I keep forgetting Steve Buscemi's character's name here. Garland Green. When he's first entering the plane in Carson City there, all of the straps and stuff they have around him, I'm going to count that in costume design too, because that was pretty cool as well.
Oh, yeah. It definitely made you feel like it was an intimidating character.
Absolutely.
And that's 100% because of the costume.
Yeah.
And I guess the security and stuff around him.
Yeah, no.
But then he's wearing this like white shirt and stuff.
Right.
Which is not really an intimidating color.
That's very true.
So I guess they kind of, not to get too frickin' symbolism or something here, but it definitely is against what his character what you would think his character is.
I agree there for sure. And yeah. I agree with you 100% there. Other than that, though, like you look at costume design, everything seems pretty standard. Other than that, in my opinion, at least, nothing else.
Yeah, the convicts were wearing very similar outfits.
Yeah.
And then the dangerous convicts were wearing orange.
Yeah.
Because they were the uber dangerous ones.
Yeah.
Which I guess kind of made sense. It definitely highlighted which ones were the craziest, which I guess kind of helped.
For sure. No, I agree. It does help for sure. I like that big contrast of who I should be scared of, who is meh.
Yeah, they definitely make it clear, which helps.
Yeah.
And then John Cusack's oversized suit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was oversized or if he had shoulder pads or something.
It definitely looks weird.
Something looked a bit weird.
Yeah.
But near the end of the movie, I didn't notice it. It was just at the start of the movie that I noticed it.
Does he?
So maybe he changed suits? I don't know.
Doesn't he take it off the suit jacket at some point into just the white shirt?
Oh, I think he does. Yeah. That's probably what it is. So his suit jacket's probably what made him look weird.
Yeah, for sure. That's you're gonna lose some points for that, for sure.
I love his glasses, though. His sunglasses.
Make him look super cool. Super cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. Um, yeah. I'm in no means an expert in costume design, but I think they did a pretty good job here.
Yeah, I think so too. It's exactly what it should have been.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's not exceptional, but it's not bad.
it's like, how could you make the costumes better? I don't know.
You can't.
And
Although it'd be pretty hilarious if they were all dressed like they were in Little Woman.
you freaking love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great
Little Win. I've never even seen it. Don't even know what it is.
Oh, man, you gotta watch it. It's so good. Made me cry.
Maybe we can battle bracket that with Commando.
I don't know. I say we keep this battle bracket, and maybe we can throw Little Woman into the next battle bracket.
That could be like a bonus bracket.
Bonus bracket. Yeah.
Little Women. Okay.
Little Women.
All right. So I think I'm good to rate costume design
Yeah,
at this
me
point.
too.
I also want to add.
Yeah.
I don't know where this would fit,
Okay.
but there's one part that I thought was hilarious. Like, Nicolas Cage, when he gets pissed off, he's like trying to play it on like the DL and not get noticed by these other convicts.
Right.
But once his friend is like dying, he just gets fully triggered and doesn't care anymore. And then just single-handedly brings down the plane
Yeah.
into Vegas, which is great. He went full badass mode.
It is.
But as he's like beating up all the convicts, there's this one convict who's like, the only thing we know about them is that they really like cross-dressing.
Right.
So then they like have this dress on and they're like dancing
Right.
and acting all like,
Yeah.
anyways. So then he's like walking up to the cockpit and then they're blocking him at the entrance to the cockpit. And then he like makes a motion to punch them and then they like flinch a bit.
Yeah.
And then he stops and then he just slaps them in the face and they're like, so funny. And then just fall to the ground. That is a great part. Very comical. Was totally unnecessary, but just funny to me.
I think you should add that into your plot rating.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scene.
Maybe I should.
I think you should.
But yeah, I just thought it was funny because you don't expect it, and it's like so comical.
Out of the blue.
He's just beating people up, and then all of a sudden slaps someone across the face.
Yeah. Any slap in any movie is comical.
Anyways, that's my honorable mention.
Yeah. On a side note, okay, I know this is super off track, but slap reminded me. Have you ever seen the commercial for The Slap?
Add that to the plot rating. Okay, so the slap chop?
The Slap. So it's like this television show where the guy like slaps a kid and he gets in a whole ton of trouble. There's this commercial for it where he like slaps the kid after a fight and everybody comes up there like, hey, what are you doing? And he just like slaps everybody and he's just like this mass slapper just knocking people out with slaps. He hits like a cat out of his tree with a slap. It's pretty funny.
Damn, sounds like a legend.
Yeah. Okay. So we only have general experience left, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I had a great experience with this movie. That's all I really need to say about it. I enjoyed how cheesy it was. I enjoyed all the acting, all the main actors in it. I enjoyed how it bordered the line between action, creepy, and comedy. I just think it was, I enjoyed it through and through. It's a movie that I can rewatch many times.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I like saw it recently and I wasn't 100% like hyped to watch it again so soon.
Right.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it went by fast and I was really happy to be watching it. Which really is like the second most important category under Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie's by far the most important category, then it's general experience. A movie can be terrible in every category, and as long as you enjoy it, that's what matters.
Yeah, really, it is.
Yeah.
So I think, what am I going to give this? I'll give it. Okay.
All right.
I won't spoil it.
Okay. So let's go through category to category. Okay. Mike, you are the math genius, right? Math genius of the Peter's Oblivious Opinions podcast.
Yes, I've heard of math before.
Okay. Do you want to tally our scores as we go through? And
Yeah, I'm going to open up a spreadsheet.
okay.
So get ready. It's loading up right now as we speak. Give me like 3 to 7 seconds.
3 to 7 seconds. What can I do for 3 to 7 seconds? 1.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh,
that you were thinking about what to do, and that's all you needed to do.
Okay, perfect.
So what's the first?
Okay, first category we did was actors.
Okay.
So I, because of Steve Buscemi, gave this a little higher rating than, average. I give it a 3.8 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty generous. Steve Buscemi did a great job. And you know what? There were a lot of good actors in this movie.
Yeah.
But Steve Buscemi was the only one that I'm like, this guy, like, just really was outstanding.
Right.
And John Cusack was really good too.
Right.
But Steve Buscemi is just kind of a legend. But so I gave it a 3.5.
Nice.
So
nice.
Pretty good. So we're pretty much close there. What was the next one?
Next, I believe we did plot.
Okay. This one I gave a 3.1 out of 5.
Okay.
I gave it a 3 initially.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, the plot is solid and entertaining, but it's not like, it didn't change the way I see the world, Right. It wasn't like a very impactful movie. It was like entertaining, but it's not like the story was like some masterpiece.
Yeah.
It was just like a solid movie.
Yeah.
So, and then I gave it an extra 0.1 because that hilarious slap moment. Well, I'm going to make 3.2 because that Dave Chappelle falling on a car.
Okay.
So 3.2. 3.2.
So I agreed with you in almost everything you said there. Like we shared a very similar opinion there. I did dock it because of its inconsistencies with the plot, and some useless plots, stuff like that. But I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I feel like it was pretty solid all the way through, but wasn't terrific. Kind of the same idea as you.
Yep. All right. That's fair. All right. You want to start with the next one?
Yeah. So next, I believe we did soundtrack. So I really enjoyed the start of the movie, setting it off really well, cheesy with "How Do I Live," that one, and then I enjoyed the end as well, finishing off with Leonard Skinner there. And I really feel like the movie set the cheesy and awesome mood for the whole action all the way throughout. So I ended up giving this a 4.1 out of 5. I was really happy with the soundtrack in this movie.
Wow, yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
It was good? I liked the guitar parts.
Yeah.
With the sad parts. There was some good music in there. It's not like there wasn't really a ton of really original, good music.
That's
though.
Yeah, that's right.
So for that reason, I gave it a 3.
Okay.
Because I don't know, it was again like the plot, it was solid.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like this is the best part of the movie.
Right. I think that's a fair rating. I enjoy music, so.
Yeah. Well, those bangers that they brought in was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Cinematography.
Okay. Do you want to start us off with your rating on this one?
Sure. This one I gave a 4 out of 5. I mean, that might be a little generous because I mean the shots, there weren't very creative shots, but I thought they fit well with the movie, and they weren't distracting from the movie.
Right.
There were some comical parts, like whenever Nicolas Cage was showing off his muscles in slow motion.
Yeah.
Those were good, but it was like pretty good. I probably could have given it a lower rating, but I gave it a 4. Is that what I said? A 4? So I'm just going to stick with the 4.
I think that's a good call, and I'm pretty close to you here. I really enjoyed how the cinematography fit the mood throughout the film. I thought, like you said, it wasn't anything exceptional for the shots, but they were really effective and beautiful at some points even. And so I ended up giving it a 4.3 out of 5 because I thought it was really effective, the cinematography.
Ooh, 4.3. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay.
I don't know what this sets a precedence for other movies, but...
that's what I'm worried about. Like, if we make Con Air the top of this scale...
Hey, this is only facing off against Doom. We can re-rate it against a different movie later.
Okay, yeah, we can recalibrate as we get some practice in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll recalibrate against other movies.
Oh my god, I can't believe this is going against Doom. Okay. So, okay, next category.
Donnie?
Needs no introduction. Donnie.
I gave it 0.5.
I gave it 0.5 too.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of explained why when we did it.
Yep, Steve Buscemi, Donnie, Big Lebowski.
Yeah, there's a connection. Anyways, so let's go to costume design.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Costume design, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I'm with you there.
It wasn't like it's freaking Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill with all this makeup.
Or Little Woman.
Or what? Yeah, that movie. But it was effective. It made sense with the movie.
Yeah, it did exactly what it was going to achieve and well.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know, but I don't want to give it a 5 out of 5 because
I don't feel like it went above and beyond, and I feel like you need to go above and beyond to get a 5.
That's true. It definitely didn't go above and beyond. So
yeah.
Costume design. Okay, so I give it a 4. What did you give it?
2.
Wow, we agree on something.
Yep.
Pretty good. Okay, and now the last one.
General experience.
General experience. This one I gave a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
For pretty much the reason because it's an entertaining movie the entire way through.
Yeah.
But it didn't change my life.
Yeah.
So it's a good, if you got 2 hours to spend and you want to watch a movie, then this is a good one to watch. But it's not like the most amazing thing on the planet.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. I agree with you there. Like, it's not going to change your life. But I, as a guilty pleasure, just enjoy watching it. I really, really enjoy watching it. And I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 just for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this movie. It is one of my biggest guilty pleasures, and I love to just reference it a lot. So
good. Okay, well, we'll have to reference it in everyday life with people that just probably haven't even seen it because it's over 20 years old.
That's true.
All right, now I'm going to calculate the overall score.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to type it into our official record-keeping book here. You have an Excel book that can be the official record-keeping book, so maybe you can type it in there.
Yes, I got it. So are we going to take... Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm averaging out my score. We're going to average out your scores.
Okay.
And then its overall score is going to be the average between both of ours, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it'll be out of 35, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, out of 35. So, for me, I ended up giving it 22.2 out of 35.
Okay.
Which is 3.17 overall.
Okay.
Which I don't think is a horrible rating.
63%. That's a passing grade.
Yeah, pretty good. And you gave it a 24.2,
Okay.
which puts it at 3.46 about.
Okay.
And then the average
69%.
between us is 3.31
3
out of 5.
divided by 5. So that's 66%. So solid C plus there.
Yeah, 66%.
I think that's an accurate rating.
Yeah, and honestly, I think 3.31 out of 5 somehow sounds better than 66.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds better.
I don't know why, but it's like a solid movie.
Yeah. Solid
It's not going to bring you to tears, but
little better than average in my opinion, which is what's reflected in 3.3.
Better than average.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
There we have it. All right. So,
Con Air.
Pardon?
Con Air. I
Con
just
Air.
said the name of the movie that we watched
All right.
to add to the podcast here.
So yeah, Con Air, thank you all for joining us today in our rating of Con Air from 1997. I hope you enjoyed our rating of this in Peter's Oblivious Opinions. Just keep in mind, it is Oblivious. Feel free to share your own opinion if you're listening to the podcast. Share the podcast with someone you know may like Con Air. Leave a like if you like it, and tune in next week to see how it faces off against Doom and our ratings for Doom. So yeah, have a great afternoon or evening or morning, whatever time of day you're listening to us.
And if you're sleeping, if you have us on while you're sleeping for the subconscious things, then enjoy that too.
Yeah, please do. And yeah, please leave a like and let us know how we can do better, because we're just starting at this and we're open to suggestions.
Absolutely.
All right. So to end this, I say we try and say goodbye in unison, okay?
All right.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Goodbye.
Bye.